Hey, it's Aaron, and today I'm with a 2023 Nissan Versa. This is in the SR package, which is the topmost trim level for this vehicle, and even at that, with a lot of little bells and whistles that are really great. This is still less than $23,000 delivered. This is crazy nuts. I remember when Econoboxes were exactly that. They were basically cardboard boxes with engines and wheels on them. Those days are long gone. This is a surprisingly good little car. I didn't expect much out of it, and when it showed up, I really didn't like this color. But now, after driving it for a week, I really like this car. Nissan did a very, very good job. This is the lowest end of the market. So this is where new car buyers that are maybe college students or buying a second or third car because they need the fuel economy for, getting back commuting or whatever. This is where this car fits. And it is a great first-time buyer car. Again, less than 23 grand at the topmost trim level, delivered, so that's with the delivery charge. This is nuts good. Very good infotainment for the price tag you're paying. Very good comfort. I was surprised at how comfortable it is. I'm 6'3". I fit just fine in this car. You can seat 4 pretty comfortably, 5 if you have to, and then lots of trunk space. We actually got a Sam's Club box store run of groceries for a family of 5 in the back of this car, including a giant a giant pack of toilet paper that lasts you 6 months or whatever. In our house, it lasts maybe 2 months because 3 teenagers, but you get the idea. 1.6 liter engine under here, CVT, so continuously variable transmission, powering the whole thing. It is front wheel drive. There is no other option for this as far as I know, and I don't think you need more than that. You don't really need all wheel drive in a car like this. It's small enough and front heavy enough that it should take care of itself. That is a really quiet airplane. Kudos for having such a quiet plane, bro. Anyway, yeah, so you can see what it looks like right here. It is a sedan. Let's go around the side. We'll talk about the design a little bit and maybe some more on this color. It's hard to say if I like this color now. I'm kind of on the... So here's what I've heard. Let's just do the color now. Here's what I've heard. I've had people tell me that this is purple. I have people who have told me that this is gray. Some people said it's blue. When I first saw it, I thought baby blue, but the light makes a big difference. What kind of light is hitting at what time of day? So it's much darker in the evening and at night, and it's much brighter during the day. So right now it is about 9 in the morning-ish, and so the sun is maybe a third of the way at most in the sky right now, and so what you're seeing is more of the gray color. As the sun gets up and it gets a little brighter, it will be a little more blue. And then as the sun starts to set and go down, that way's west, as the sun starts to set and go down, this will get a little darker and kind of maybe a purplish color. I haven't really seen that color. It doesn't look that way to me, but enough people have told me that it looks purple that I'm willing to believe them. It's just not my version of purple, I guess. We all have different ideas, right? Far as I know, some people are looking at this going, that's the most red thing I've ever seen. Your color and my color may not be the same. Anyway, the color's kind of growing on me. So when I first saw it, I was like, ugh, right? Because it looked like a flashback to the 90s soccer mom mobiles. Ford and all of them had all those really pale blue colors that were like just gag you. It looked like that to me, but over time, and as I've looked at it and driven it and had other people look and comment on it, I'm a little more attuned to this color. I'm a little happier with it. So I don't hate it now. That's kind of where I'm at. I don't love it, but I don't hate it either. So there you go. Not BFFs with this color, but it's not terrible. Anyway, let's talk about design, and then we'll get inside a little bit. I'll sit in the back seat and show you it, but I'm not going to talk about the back seat other than just show you what it looks like with me in it. And then we'll get in the front and I'll talk about some of that. And then if I have some time, I'll try to also do a walkthrough of all the buttons and switches so you can see all of that in a separate video. So yeah, let's get going. Okay, from the side, you're seeing more of that color, of course. And what we're also seeing is a little of the design that's going on into this car. This car has more design going on than you would expect from a car of this level. So cheaper the car generally, the uglier it looks. That's not necessarily the case here. What Nissan has done is their usual hood pattern. So there's a dip kind of in the middle with a little hump in the center of that dip, and then these big things here to create a larger fender here. Then you have a belt line that's pretty thick. Starts right below the headlight here, right here, and runs around and keeps going like this through the mirror and then fades so that your belt line at that point becomes just this right here. There's really no belt line, but there's this hard line that starts right here on the front fender and runs into the door, across the handles, and to that rear taillight all the way on the end. This is a common Nissan design theme right now. This is part of their sketchwork is the way to put it. So the sketchwork for this car would be, here's the roof, here's that line, wheels. That's the sketchwork. So the basic sketch of the design of the car. And then everything else is details on top of that. So you got the running board crease here. You got the extra window here, plus this. This adds a little bit of visibility, but for the most part, it's largely for looks. It makes this window look much bigger, and that makes the car look bigger. You'll see this theme throughout. It's a bigger is bigger. So bigger window here, right? Makes the car look bigger. And then you can see they did the floating roof, which is a also common Nissan design theme. So on that sketch, the line would come and then stop abruptly so that it's separated from everything down here. And that happens here with this plastic piece. And then you can see there's the double line here, just like up front. So that line fades in right about right here and comes across like that. So that creates your rear fender, which is not terribly accentuated, but it does create that double line that we saw on both sides. Same plane, he's still really quiet. The wheels on this. The wheels are part of the SR package. I believe it's SR. Yeah, that's right. They're part of that package, but there are a couple of wheel designs for this car. All of them, I believe, are the same size. I don't think it changes. I believe this is an 18-inch, 17 inch. I don't think it changes. I think it's 17 from the get-go. Even the base model, as I recall, and I could be wrong on this, and I'll change it on the screen if I am, but as I recall, even the base model has alloy wheels. So there is no steelies for this thing, which some people are going to say is kind of a bummer. I don't think so. Steel wheels are a giant PIA, and they're heavy. So anyway, speaking of heavy, I'm just going to talk about fuel economy right now, even though we're supposed to be talking about design because we're standing next to the car. I'm going to talk about fuel economy. 40 miles a gallon on the highway is what this is rated for, and I got really close to that. Now, we're at altitude. We're at 6,400 feet here, and from where I drive and back on the highway, which is about 42 miles in a loop, that elevation changes, but it evens out both directions because I use the same highway both directions. And I drive at 65 miles an hour, not the 80 miles an hour that the freeway is rated for, which means I'm over in the right lane with a bunch of big trucks. But what it also means is that I'm keeping an even run as close as possible for every single car I drive. This car did about average for its fuel economy loss for this altitude. Now, there were no crosswinds that day, so that's an upside, but I still only got about 38.5 or 6 doing the math. So it depends on whether or not you want to round it. If you want to round it up, because it was 38.5 something. and I believe I would have had to round it up to 0.6 on that number, but regardless, this would be, this is very commensurate with what you expect with a non-turbo engine at this altitude. We always lose at least 1, often 2 miles a gallon, just because of the altitude here. It's having a much harder time breathing. So very good result. I will take that result as a positive, because if this is rated at 40 and I can get at least 38 out of it, I assume it's pretty on. Most people are going to be close to that 40. Most people don't live at high altitude like I do. So yeah, let's talk about the inside a little bit and then wrap all this up. Okay, here's me getting in the back seat. Now, front seat is set for me at 6'3", and you can see plenty of room. I've got a little bit of knee room. My feet can go underneath. The only thing I'm lacking is headroom, and that's not by much. If I take the hat off, it won't feel so weird to bump my head on the roof. But I'm really just kind of hitting it. I'm not like shoving my head into it. I have to like really work on that. So not bad at all for the back seat. Okay, up here in the front, really good climate in this. It's a small enough car that it doesn't need to have powerful climate to actually work. So really good climate in this. Heated seats. What else we got? We got, it is not dual zone. It is one zone climate, but that's fine. Again, small car, you don't really need that. Infotainment is good. So it's Nissan system. It's not the best on the market or any of that, but for a car at this price tag, that is a lot of infotainment for the money being spent. Streams music beautifully, Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, etc., etc. So nicely done there. You open the fuel cap down here, pulling that. You rarely have to do that. This thing is super efficient. It's got most of the Nissan buttons and controls on the wheel. Cruise control is not adaptive. It is standard cruise control. And as far as I can tell, I don't think you can get adaptive cruise for this. But it still has all of the advanced safety stuff, the crash mitigation, automatic braking, all that stuff. So you still have all of that safety gear, stereo controls and whatnot, and all of that good stuff. So nicely done interior. I fit wonderfully well up front here. I have lots of room. I've got a couple of inches of headroom left. The roof does curve a lot. That's why you lose some in the back, but wonderful layout. Great to drive, surprisingly. It's not a sports car. It's not, fast or furious and you don't get to do the Dom thing and shift gears 5,000 times to go 10 miles. It's none of that, but it does have a nice layout and an easy drive quality. It's never in a big hurry, but it doesn't feel like it can't do stuff. So you always have confidence. So nicely balanced on that point. So there you go. That's kind of what's going on in here. Let's wrap all this up. All right, so there you go. This is the 2023 Nissan Versa SR package. This is a really good entry-level car. Way better so this is probably equivalent or even better than my first car. And that was the highest end package for a Toyota Corolla way back in the day. That was a very expensive car if you were to do inflation and consider it for now. And this is a far better car than the first brand new car I ever bought. So yeah, and that was also a few years ago, but that was a Honda Civic, had no bells and whistles at all, didn't even have cruise control. So this is much more than I would expect to pay as a first-time car buyer, or expect to get for what I pay as a first-time car buyer. So again, under $23,000 with delivery on this particular one right here that you're looking at. Beautifully done. Nissan has come a long way in especially the small car market and the mainstream markets. Nissan is doing very well with this. They're doing pretty well with the Altima. They're doing very well with the Rogue. All of those are smaller entry level or often first time buyer vehicles. So beautifully done on this. Very nice. And again, the color, you don't have to love it. There's other color options. I don't think I would pick this one, but again, like I said, I don't hate it. So there you go. Nicely done, Nissan. This has been Aaron. Talk to you again soon.